A most significant aspect regarding building trust is straightforwardness. Indeed, this word has lost some significance since it is utilized frequently. Obviously, everybody needs to be trusted. Organizations need you to confide in them. Partners likewise need to trust and trust one another. From multiple points of view, trust is the magic that binds society. On account of him, our relations with one another will be increasingly smooth. We make exchanges over the web. This relationship depends on trust. We additionally permit outsiders to remain in a room of our homes through vehicle sharing occupations sorted out through the web or through foundations, for example, Airbnb. We present our own data to organizations and we feel sure that they will keep them. We accept that our partners will carry out their responsibility best. So, our associations with one another depend on least trust. This trust isn't based on generosity, yet on individuals' activities and endeavors. It is imperative to offer trust to organizations just as people. This validity must be exhibited in words as well as in real life, from the top to the base. So by what means would this be able to trust be given? Comparative standards apply to people just as organizations. Not simply words, activity. The ritual is work, the word isn't thought of. It isn't sufficient to state "trust us" or to compose a deliberately gauged task portrayal and standards proclamation. Everybody sees large advances, yet the activities that appear to be minor and immaterial will have a more noteworthy effect after some time. It isn't sufficient for the application units in the work environments to make an assertion, for instance, that we have Earth-inviting methodologies. A definite program ought to be introduced on how this was executed and its outcomes. Going to work or arrangement on time separately, agreeing as far as possible, addressing questions legitimately are things we don't know about, yet it is critical to pick up the trust of our associates and clients. The equivalent is valid for organizations. It should give a feeling of unwavering quality with its responsibilities and everyday rehearses. Straightforwardness. Probably the greatest snag to building trust is protection. A few things will be stayed quiet normally, however the organization should consistently be straightforward about its training without revealing it. For instance, a portion of the variables that are viable in settling on choices ought to be clarified. Being happy to respond to questions and not being overpowered by individuals approaching inquiries for data likewise gives certainty. Straightforwardness turns out to be increasingly significant, particularly if there is where trust is restored. For instance, the charges against HSBC, probably the biggest bank in the UK, that have helped its clients in tax avoidance have subverted trust by abrogating numerous guarantees in the financial division. Individuals need to see that this issue is tended to, those capable are rebuffed, and gauges are taken to forestall such negativities. And still, at the end of the day, building trust again will require a great deal of exertion and time. Reason doesn't legitimize the vehicle. Some time ago, business pioneers felt that a wide range of approaches to accomplish their objectives and fulfill their investors were allowable. Natural harm, low wages, poor administration practices could be endured. Be that as it may, buyers and clients no longer acknowledge this methodology. Organizations are presently expected to have social obligation to manufacture trust. For instance, buyers, clients and financial specialists are viewed as unreliable on the grounds that Apple utilizes modest work in China and organizations, for example, Starbucks or McDonald's don't make good on charges. The equivalent is valid for people. Deferential conduct towards associates or clients is normal. The individuals who appear to gain ground in spite of their untrustworthy conduct will in the long run observe that they are vacant and that no one needs to help them. Tolerating blunders and assuming liability. This standard methods assuming liability for the missteps made both for people and organizations. Blunders can be excused all the more effectively when this is done and steps are taken to address it. At the point when it is finished with clearness and straightforwardness, it fortifies trust. Standards composed on paper become significant just with execution plans and solid advances. It requires consistent exertion to pick up trust and look after trust. In any case, the outcome is justified, despite all the trouble.